Hello and welcome to the Steven Universe audio log thing. This week we are discussing Together Breakfast, an episode in which Steven, determined to spend some quality time with the gems, just decides to create a special and rather bizarre breakfast for them, in which he then has real trouble getting them all together to do because they're all pretty much engaged in their otherworldly gemmy activities. I have some interesting thoughts on this one, but I have some thoughts that to me I perceive as interesting. I don't know if others will agree, but I want to start, I think, with you, Chris, just because it's always more. I think it's always best to start with your opinion because it's the real goal of this whole podcast is just to see how much you hate it at this point. So
no.
Go on.
Well, I mean,
I would love to hear.
Is this, as far as I can work out, this show is about Steven's decline and eventual road to diabetes. Like, as far as I can see.
I told you it goes to some dark places.
Yeah. It would not surprise me. I preferred it to last week's, to be honest with you. There were, again, some very funny bits when he caught all the waffles and went skills. I found that very funny.
Yes.
And at the end, the punchline of it did try to kill us, also very funny.
Yes.
And I quite like it was a mixture of, because my complaint last week was there was no sort of villain. There was a villain, there was a monster in this, and it was tied to his seemingly insecurities or need to be accepted by these guys, which is quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that I'm going to make Together Breakfast a thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing that with all my mates. So,
yeah.
It's growth on a personal level.
Yeah, so on the whole, it sounds you actually came out of this one relatively positive.
Yeah, I mean, I was still like, what the fuck is this? But
are we just assuming that's by default now? Is that just default
until
position?
I tell you otherwise? Yeah.
Okay,
but I found it entertaining.
Gotcha.
And I found it funny.
Well,
and for a 10-minute animated show, what more could I ask for?
You know what? That's actually a breakthrough, I think, because your complaint for the very first episode was, I was baffled, and I can't even say I found it funny or entertaining. That was like your very first reaction to the first episode. So I think that is actually a pretty big threshold you've crossed. I actually have a criticism of this one, which is weird.
Ooh.
Because what I like about this episode
is it that he should have put more strawberries on it?
Obviously, one is not enough. I mean, I like that he made a real effort to get the strawberry in its exact right place. I thought that was quite funny.
And the way the drum and bass kicked in,
yes.
That was very funny.
Yes, I chuckle at that every time. And no
no
matter how many times I've seen that episode, him slowly, it's the look of concentration they've animated on his face as he does it as well. It really sells it. On the whole, I think the episode is very good. On the whole, I agree with all the points you just made. And the other thing I love about this one is this is the first episode that gives you a bit more idea of what the Gem's personality is. Garnet is obviously very straight to business. She's very, very straight to the point. She doesn't faff about. Pearl, obviously, she's very organized and she's very sort of particular. Amethyst is clearly just chaos incarnate. You see where she spends her time, and it's just she's not happy unless she's kicking shit over. So in that sense, I would praise the episode because it is very much good gauge for what the Gems are like. One thing I didn't particularly like about this episode is that at the very beginning it all feels a bit mean. They're just very dismissive of Steven, and I think the show is trying to have its cake and eat it too, because I think the writers went, it's okay that they're dismissive of Steven, they're busy saving the world. Garnet is destroying this clearly very dangerous scroll. And of course, Steven's picture of said scroll, because clearly that is now also possessed with whatever powers the scroll has. That was a nice joke as well, by the way. But the problem is, if they keep playing the monsters for laughs, which is fine, they then can't say that the Gems are like... They can't also make it out that what they're doing is so serious that they have to be a bit mean to Steven. Because he makes it very clear that when they come back, he's like, oh, hey, you're here, breakfast. And I think that, like...
Well, also, they're not all, I don't know her name, but the blue one that's disguising herself as a policeman and firing water at him, she's not saving... She's not helping save the world.
Anything. Yeah, exactly. So it's at the beginning they're all just a bit mean to Steven, and
the other one,
the
only one that's saving the world is the tall one.
Garnet.
Because the other one's just fucking about doing her Kill Bill routine on top of some water.
Oh yeah, that's right. Pearl is doing a little pearl dance with swords. there's something I could say there to explain that to you, but no, that all comes back. I promise you. It's so weird to think of how much of this stuff is actually explained, because even there are things I'm seeing now that I'm going, I would have never even imagined they'd explain that. Does that make sense?
Like, yeah, well, I didn't even consider her on the water with the swords to be a thing that needed explanation.
Yeah, but even that gets covered
Yeah, right.
in detail. Like, we know why. It's hard to explain. I'm not going to say anything, but so. I liked this. I like this one on the whole, but I do have the first few minutes. They do seem like, especially after the last episode when they were all very sweet to Steven at the end. You know, when he'd failed and really let them down in a weird way, but they were so supportive. It seems very jarring to cut to this, where they're just basically ignoring him, dismissing him, and in general winding him up. In the case of Amethyst, spraying him with water. And I love he gets another version of the same shirt, which, by the way, not something you would have thought needed explaining. But you know how he has loads of the same shirt. Yeah, that gets explained. There's an in-universe explanation for why that happens.
Blimey.
Anyway, I know it's crazy how much this show covers.
I think your point is valid, though. It does feel unnecessarily mean.
Yeah, to start with, eventually they all come round to it, and that's why the episode sort of gets a pass in the end, because by the end of the episode they all come together to help him make a giant super mega together breakfast. And
yeah, but you know that's coming, though. I'm sorry, of
course, but if it didn't happen, I'd have felt robbed. It's one of those things where it's like, I know it's coming, but if it fucking doesn't come, I'm going to be very upset.
I didn't expect the breakfast to turn into a big monster, though. That was, I mean, yeah.
I don't think anyone could predict that. So for those who don't remember the episode, Steven would like to gather the team for the breakfast. Garnet's burning this scroll that clearly has some force within it that's evil, essentially. And it escapes the scroll because Steven distracts at the last minute trying to get his together breakfast, and the sort of spirit-y thing, gemmy thing, whatever it is that comes out of the scroll, possesses his breakfast, which they all then have a little fight with the giant breakfast, which visually is just quite an interesting little battle, quite funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's pretty good. Especially, I love that Garnet gets sort of pinned to a wall by a waffle, and she sort of punches her way out of it. I found that image quite amusing. And then, of course, the final gag being they're all about to eat their together breakfast, and when they make a new one, and they're just like, yeah, they're just trying to kill us. We should probably eat something else.
Yeah. And they go for pizza, and I'd have liked to have seen that. I'd have liked to have seen what toppings. It's never enough for me when people are like, we're getting pizza.
Did the pizza get? Did it get possessed? Did the pepperoni start hitting them?
Yeah.
Like, well, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the theme song, which you'll have only heard once or twice at this point, because annoyingly, when they first started doing the show, they aired the episodes together, like in doubles. So you'll have heard the theme tune on the very first one and the second one, and then you'll hear it again on the fifth one, if I've worked that out right.
No, wouldn't it be the first one, the third one, and the fifth one?
Is that not what I said? Sorry.
No, you said the first and the second.
Sorry, I meant first, third, and then fifth.
Right.
Apologies. Yes.
Yeah,
sorry.
Cool.
So it's every other episode you'll hear the theme.
Yeah.
But if you hear the extended version of the theme, one of the first lyrics is, "If you're evil and you're on the rise, you can count on the four of us taking you down. You're never going to beat us, win the fight, and then go out for pizzas." So it's immediately referencing pizza and going out for pizza, which I thought is adorable.
Yeah. Well, this show seems to be obsessed with food.
You know what? I didn't realize how much so until I'm doing this rewatch. I don't know if that just fades away a bit more and it's more obvious to me now, but yeah, dude, it really is. Everything has been about food so far. He's in the donut shop in the first episode, then he's going for his fry bits in the second.
Third and second's about all the ice cream, is it?
The first one is about the ice cream, but he's also in a donut shop at the beginning, because it's the donut shop that has the cookie
ice
cans.
cream. Yeah.
And then it's the beach one, which starts with the fry bits thing. Then what was the last one?
Him just fucking about a big magical place.
You really didn't like that episode.
I didn't love it.
Was there a food reference in that one? There must have been.
I thought that one was the fry bits and the ice cream, and the second one was the fact that his dad was the ice cream van.
His dad's van is the Mr. Universe van.
Oh right.
His dad owns a car wash.
Oh okay, right.
So it's just a van. It's just the van that his dad used to tour in.
Just a van. Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah. No, ice cream was definitely the first one, because remember the ice cream was what made his gem glow.
No, I know. Yeah, no. I thought it was ice cream twice. I was wrong.
But there was the fry bits was in the beginning of this because it's when he's coming back with the fry bits.
Yeah.
That he sees the big eye thing in the sky that they use the cannon that he gets from his dad to destroy.
Maybe there wasn't. I swear there was food in the third one.
That's what I'm trying to remember. The third one I don't know.
Anyway,
there's a lot of food.
there's a lot of food.
Yeah, I don't think I realised, but there's another episode coming up that's like food related as well. So and then there's a little teaser for you. At some point there's a watermelon version of Steven that exists.
Oh, nice! Wow.
The show goes there.
Jesus.
I'm not going to explain that any further than I have already done.
Oh, the third one. It was the fucking the backpack was shaped like a cheeseburger.
That's right. You're right. His backpack was cheeseburger.
Yeah.
It's called cheeseburger backpack. Yes.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't actual food, but it was a food reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show does have a thing about food early on. I think that does fade a bit because I can't recall a recent episode that's.
I'm kind of hoping so. I think.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I just watched a 5-episode run because they just released the most recent Steven Bomb, and not a single food reference that I can think of. So that's at least 5 episodes that are food free. So I'm pretty sure that's a trend they buck as they go forward.
There you go.
Legitimately going to make Together Breakfast now, Chris? Then?
Yeah, I think so. But it's have you got to do it with friends? I suppose it wouldn't be enough to just do it with my girlfriend. I'd have to.
I guess.
I'd have to have friends around, and I'm really not. We've just moved somewhere new. I'm very busy. I said last night. She was like, "We've got to have people round," and I was just like, "Nah, I just don't want to." She was like, "Well, we got it," and I was like, "We don't." Like, and I was like, "I'm happy to tell people."
Gotcha.
I'm happy.
Well, when you say you're going to make Together, are you going to make it the way Steven did? Is it going to be pancakes with cream, strawberries, and popcorn?
No, I'm not a big fan of any of those ingredients apart from the strawberries. So it'd probably be more.
You'll make something.
It would be the same,
but
replace every element with bacon.
Your Together Breakfast is just a plate of bacon.
Yes, Together Bacon.
Together Bacon. Okay, great. So we'll see you next. I mean, I've got to end it on that, right? I can't.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that visual image.
Yeah. What would it even look like?
Just a plate of bacon. No,
plate of bacon in the shape of a smile.
You replace the waffles with bacon. You replace the sauce with the bacon sauce of your choice, mine being mayonnaise, the more common one being ketchup or brown sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And the whipped cream is just a big pile of egg,
gotcha,
scrambled. And then the strawberry is like a little like a roll, but like fried off a bit, like a big crouton.
Gotcha. There you go.
I'll tell you a trick, actually. Someone blew my mind the other week. I was at a barbecue. The other week, it was in the summer. They produced bacon bread. You get some bread, you wrap a slice of bacon around it, you cook it, and like the bacon juices cook the bread up a little bit in the middle so it's all crispy, and it was a delicious. Delight.
Yeah. Well, I've had bacon naan. That's my
nice
success. That was quite delicious. Anyway,
that's your success.
That was my little success. Next week's episode is called Frybo. I'll let you decide whether that's food related or not. And I guess we'll be back to talk about that next week.
Yeah, man.
Do we have a close? I'm Dan.
I don't think we do with this. You just say we'll see you for, and then name the next episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you for Frybo.